Good morning, everybody. My name is Dave. Thanks for joining me. And what a miserable day it is in Berwick today. It's pouring with rain, and I just have to say I'm an idiot. Yesterday, I filmed some information for a couple of the subscribers, and I also did a boost increase on my turbo. A lot of work to increase a little bit of boost, but what I did was moved it the wrong direction and put it back down to 8 psi. So today we're going to take it all apart again, do it all again, and move the boost the other way around. I've got a couple of subscribers, Colin and Caesar. Colin is called Kerry Travels, is his username, and Caesar is Pedrero Mountain Biking. You might have seen their posts on a couple of the videos. Colin has a problem with vacuum pipes. Caesar has a problem with a knock-in in his exhaust system. I'm going to try and help them with both of those today. I also bought some tools. These are step-ups and step-downs. They go from 1/4 inch to 3/8 to 1/2 inch impact driver conversions. I've got some, but they're ordinary. And I've now got some impact driver ones. So another thing is, I can't remember. So let's get on with it. Okay, first things first, intercooler off, battery out, and that battery disconnected, and then the exhaust heat shield off, and then we'll be ready to adjust the turbo. So let's get on with it. I'll come back to you when I've done those things. Okay, here I am. I'm stripped down. I've got the intercooler off, the battery out. I'm ready to adjust the turbo. However, what I need to do first is recover my 12mm socket and one of the intercooler mounting bolts, which have dropped under this plastic cover over this side. So I'm going to remove that first, recover the bolt out and the socket, and then I'll come back to you. Alright, this part of the video is for Colin from Kerry Travels, as he's known in the subscriber. As you can see, there is a vacuum pipe comes off the bottom of the map sensor, which is this here, and it goes around to the inlet on the other side. Now that T-piece you can see there with the two Jubilee clips on is different to yours. That'll be the straight through pipe from the map sensor to the manifold. Below that is another T-piece. Now that T-piece will be there. I don't know if you can see that. One goes to the bottom of the EGR. The other one goes to a connection down there. Looks like some sort of sensor. And then there's another pipe that goes off down, and that joins onto another T-piece down there. One of it, part of it goes to a non-return valve. The other part of it goes, I'm not sure where that goes. One comes up to this T-piece, one goes to the non-return valve, and then there's one other one that goes to somewhere else. You might be able to see that on the drawing. I can't see it while I'm in there. Alright, okay, so back to the job in hand. So down there is the linkage. I need to take the C-clip off the peg there, lift the peg off, and then what I need to do is loosen off the thing and back it off. Now I did it 6 turns, so I've got to back it off 12 turns inwards instead of outwards, and then I've got to add probably another 4 or 6 to see how far that goes, and hopefully I can still get it onto the spindle. So we'll see how that goes, so bear with me for a minute. Okay, so this part is for Caesar, or Pedrero Mountain Biking, which is his subscribed name. So Caesar, I hope I've pronounced your name correctly. This is for you. This is about using a screwdriver as an ultrasound or a listening device for your engine. So what you need to get yourself is something like this, a long screwdriver with a plastic handle or something like along those lines. And what the idea is that the metal tip acts as the resonator, if you like, and the handle acts as the loudspeaker. So let's just say that this is a component running in the engine. You touch it on like that, you press it to that part of your ear like this, And if you tap on something, you'll hear what I mean. The sound resonates up the screwdriver blade into the handle, and then through that part of your ear there, goes into your ear, and you can hear all the sounds inside that particular component. So what I would suggest that you do is, now I know this is in a stripped down state, but when your engine's running, maybe put the screwdriver end onto the end of the exhaust bit here and put it up to your ear. You should be able to hear if there's any knocking or tapping inside that area there. Maybe something's fallen off and gone into there and it's rattling around. It could be something along those lines. If you're going to take this off, you can get that off from by undoing these 4 bolts. Now, they're probably going to be rusted on. So I would suggest buying yourself some stainless steel rail lock nuts like I've done, and some washers. Get plenty of penetrating fluid onto these nuts here. Back them off, tighten them up again, back them off until they come off. Otherwise, they're going to seize and strip. Last thing you want is them to break off and you have to drill them out. If you feel like they're not going to work, then maybe don't do it. Maybe just crack them off as far as you can, push it apart. You'll be able to see in there and be able to access what's causing. However, one thing is that should have a metal reusable gasket on it. If it hasn't, you'll have to get a gasket for it, and you can just use that metal gasket again, I believe. I don't think there's any problem with that. I don't know of any reason why you wouldn't. I've got a couple more points to make. One is on these nitrile gloves. I've got these black ones. These are a nitrile, vinyl nitrile blended mix. The nitrile makes them flexible and rubbery, whereas the vinyl is the protection. I've got some replacement clear gloves here. These are vinyl powder-free gloves. I just buy whatever's the cheapest on I can find. Now these are fine, and they're a little bit stronger, but they're not as flexible to get on and off. So just bear that in mind when you're ordering gloves. The other thing is, what's a real pain in the butt when you're doing this job is getting the circlip back on. Now let me just show you where that is. Hang on a sec. So hopefully you can see down there there's a bit of a throttle linkage. Hopefully I'll turn the light down a bit and you might be able to see a bit better. There you go. So let me just point it out with the screwdriver. So there's the throttle linkage, and this is the arm that comes from the boost, the diaphragm down there. On the top of that, on this turbo anyway, not on the one that you will have probably unless you've replaced it, is a C-clip. I'm going to have a bit of a rant here because people call them E-clips. And I can see where they get the name from, but they're not E-clips, they're C-clips. Now the best thing to do when you're doing this job is to get a magnetic tray and a box of these. Now you can see clearly on here they're calling them E-clips. But they're not, they're C-clips. They've always been C-clips, and this is just another one of these stupid internet names that comes out. You need 1 or 2 because you're going to drop them if you don't have a magnetic tray, and you're going to lose them. So best to buy a kit. That's about $20. It's not expensive. I suppose if you've got $20, it's not expensive. If you don't have it, it is. But you know, you're going to need it if you're doing this job. So I've got mine back on now. I'm ready to start reassembling. I'm going to have to put this plastic tray back down. Now I've recovered my 10mm socket. I can't find the 12mm socket. I have no idea where that's gone. But anyway, I'll put you back on when I've got it together. Hi, here's the heat shield, Caesar. I've got this one for my EGT sensor, so I've got 3 left. This is the one that you've got missing. This is the hardest one to get in. If you put these 2 in first, then it's really difficult to get that in place. So I suggest you do that one first. Then put these ones in, and then that one last, because you can access that one and move stuff around. Don't tighten them up till they're all in, and then you should be good. Also, Caesar, can I recommend you use something like this? Copper anti-seize compound. This is something that's Australian made, UNESCO. It's copper flakes and PTFE, and it will stay on the bolts up to 1,000 degrees centigrade. Or 1832 degrees Fahrenheit for you backward Americans. This will almost guarantee you getting the bolts out again. I'd use this on the nuts as well if you need to. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you wear these gloves. I've just been working on the exhaust and all of that. That's why we wear those gloves. Car's back together. I'm going to go for a test drive. You might as well come with me. Okay, so we're going for a drive. I've just noted that the windscreen repair, we got a lot of rain on the car last night, and the windscreen repair seems to have worked, so I'm happy with that. Right, we'll wait for it to be clear. Could be a while. Wow, 17, 18. That's the best I've pulled that up there for a while. See that hill in front of us up there? We're going up there. So where we test the engine up there. Are we going down to 0? 18 psi boost is enough. I don't want any more than that. Gee, the roads are busier during the weekend than they are during the week. It's still cold. We might go back a different way. We're getting to 380 degrees centigrade on the exhaust, and we're getting to 18 psi on the boost gauge. So I'm happy with those figures. They're really good. We're going to go on my other test track now. We're up to temperature. We're over 30 degrees. I always think that 30 degrees is the point where the gearbox is starting to work properly. The oil's thinned out a little bit, and the transmission's at 36 and the engine's at 60. So we're still warming up a little bit. This is the best it's run in a long time. There's a guy here walking 4 dogs. 2 pugs, 4 pugs. While I'm talking to you, I've had a message from one of the guys on the 4JX1 decompile project page, and he wants to do a video on sleeve and injector seals. So injector sleeve and injector seals, because he's sick of telling people and he wants to have a video to refer them to. When I start my new job and we get a weekend free, I'm going over to his house and we're going to do some injectors and injector sleeve seals. We're going to video it. That'll be great for you guys, because that's one of the things that a lot of people struggle with.